Good, glorious morning. I'm in beautiful Midtown Atlanta, and I'm all up in your face. I'm all up in your airwaves, and I am Coach J. Good morning. How you feeling, man? Yes, beliefs. That what you think, feel, and act on. Let's go ahead and get straight to it. A lot of us don't realize that we build faiths based on our insides, and it's great to know this when you become deliberate and intentional. Okay. Now, there's folks, for example, and I want you to really get this in your head. I'll see for something, for example, I'm just going to show people and I'm going to go to me and I'm going to just kind of get you on to the totality of observing it outside of yourself. Maybe that can help you out, you know? So, when you have a belief that you are strong, right? Right? That means that you are saying out there that you have strength to carry burdens. Demand good morning to you. That means, again, like I said, if you're saying you're strong, that means you have the strength, right? You have the ability to carry a lot of burden, right? Now, what you're thinking and feeling and acting, you had a life experience, you told yourself this story, this thing is coming against me and I must push against it, and now I have mental muscle, right? You made choices that put you in the place that you had to lift things, right? Look, people are probably like, oh, wait, that's too much, right? Folks, if you're strong, you're not flowing with it. You're forcing against something, okay? We're going to start right there. Now, something outside of yourself. If somebody believes, for example, that another is bad for them, think about it. If you believe that someone is bad for you, right, there's a thought process that starts to happen. You start to tell yourself a story. It's a thought process there. You start feeling these emotions against that person, okay? You start feeling it because those beliefs are going for you. You're thinking these bad things. Your emotions, when you get around their presence, you start acting on that, on those emotions, literally so. If you feel like this person's bad for you, what happens is you tense up, the air around you becomes stagnant, and all those kind of things. Because as you're looking at them, you're projecting off your feelings onto them, and you're receiving that back because that's why they're bad for you. Same for the same, if they're a good person for you, everything around them is light, you can talk forever, you can hang out, nothing is taken too serious, you're passionate about being around that person, you want to get more of it, right? Because we only do things for joy. Good morning, auntie. You know what I'm saying? So, folks, when you believe something, it's how you think, feel, and act. I want you to get that through. Again, when there's some of us say we're churchgoers, right? We're churchgoers. And then within, I don't know, an hour to a day, after leaving that threshold, they go back to complaining, to gossiping, to flat out unconscious sinning. That's what sinning is anyway. It's unconsciousness. It's a lack of love. Is really what that is. So, as you look at it, you're not thinking, feeling, and acting on that. They're inconsistent. So don't get caught up in that inconsistency. That's what they believe themselves to be. So I just kind of let them be where they're at. Right? Woo, Coach J had to sit down, getting older. Now, one of the things that you have to understand with your beliefs, whatever it is that you feel good on, you're going to rampage on, you're going to go forward towards it, right? So and going back on this one, if you feel like this person is bad for you, think about it. You're thinking about these things about this person, that this person, maybe they did it or not, but who's receiving it? So you start building a story on that. You start feeling a way, you start acting towards them in a certain way. You might brush against them. You might stamp your feet. You might swear at them. You might buck at them for no real reason. They might say hi to you and you're like, get away from them. You know, it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. When I first started my journey, I said, you know, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to have this, I want to have all these things, and I felt real good about it. So of course, I started thinking and feeling and acting. Of course, not only am I acting on it, I'm speaking on it in that way. And that's the other part, that you know that you're heading in that direction. Whatever it is that you believe, you speak more on it all the time. James, good morning. You know what I mean? You speak on it all the time. You continue to tell that story. And this is where you understand where your focus is or where your beliefs are. The presence of something or the absence of something. Okay? If you believe there's a lack of money, right? The absence of money, you'll keep telling yourself that story. You won't see the opportunity to gain more. Same for the same. If you believe in yourself and you believe in your in the clarity of your confidence of everything that you can get and have and be, do, and have and retain anything, of course, more comes to your way. Because again, in that force, you're pushing it away. It's like you're chasing it. It's like you're repelling it. Whereas when you're saying come to me because I'm really good about myself, guess what? It comes to you, it flows to you like very easily. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with anyone else outside of you. Your beliefs are based on you. Somebody could have taught you something, yeah. My grandmammy taught me this, blah, 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 blah. But how much have you stuck to Grammy's teachings? Really think about it that way. And it's not about shaming or anything like that. It's definitely not about judging. It's about understanding that you are responsible for your own life situation and life experience. When you tell someone an ultimatum in a negative way, for example, you already believe that this person is going to choose something that's going to make you upset anyway. So you really put them in a position to not win. What they're going to do is kind of shrug you off because, quite frankly, it's a lack position. And the only person that's responding from lack is another person that's insecure because they're creating that with you. But if that person leaves you alone for that, guess who's stuck with that? It only reflects back to you, whatever it is that you're putting out there. You know what I mean? Strong people. Which goes to this. A few weeks back, this is the me part, all right? A few weeks back, I went out with a young lady, and she's been single for about half a year. Martha, good morning. Beautiful morning, by the way. Her and I went out, and we sat there, we ate a burger and all that kind of stuff. We're just kind of sitting there chit-chatting or whatever. So I'm thinking that, yeah, she's all right, but she's kind of tense. So I'm like, let me just kind of just dangle something out there. So I threw out a feeler. I was like, so, she's saying that she's a mom, and I was just like, hey, why are you single? I think that you're great right now, because she was whole tense and whatever, but I believe that she's great. Then she goes, well, this, that, everything outside of her. And I was kind of like, at least that was my face on the inside, right? It was just like, but all the while I was sitting there like, I'm sorry to hear that. I feel really bad about that you spit it out. I'm sorry that you feel that way about yourself. She goes, no, didn't you hear me? I was talking about this, that, and this. And I was just like, well, because of what it is that I do, I want you to understand that there's a lot of insecurity within yourself. You're thinking that, and you're believing that, and you're feeling that someone has dominion over you. And quite frankly, if that's the case, why are you here? Just think of it that way. Why are you right here with me right now having fun? It was a choice, right? You felt good about coming out. You're having a good time. Same for the same when you're looking at someone else and you're like, no, I'm going to resist. Your joy is in there too. Not in the resistance, not in the act of resisting, but in where you want to be. You didn't want the pressure of feeling bondage. You wanted to feel liberated. And she was like, yeah. I was just like, but it took removing that to feel that way. Yeah. Like I said, I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself. You're all right. You can loosen up. And it was kind of funny because she laughed about it, but it was one of those uncomfortable laughs. It was like, because like I said, one of the beautiful things that I do is I read body language very quick, very clear, and it's very cool around me. You know what I mean? Like I said, stagnation of the air, the lightness of the air, you can see it clearly, when you train yourself in it. So we ended it off or whatever, and she was kind of like, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna work on myself a little bit more. I think I need to know myself a little bit more. And I was like, absolutely, hey, call me, reach out to me whenever you're ready. It's cool. Everything was good. She sent me a text message last night. Hey, Jay, I was just calling you. I was just seeing how you doing or whatever. I'm doing much better, I'm glad that you said that. You didn't even know me very well. And for someone to only sit down with me for like 10 minutes and be able to tell that about me, it says something, it means something to me. And I was like, right, it's about beliefs, but be light on yourself, you know what I'm saying? So, in using those beliefs, remember, it's how you think, feel, and act, right? Whatever it is that you want to be, do, or have, make sure your beliefs are there. Make sure your beliefs are there, and you're already having prejudices against or for something. Okay, you're already having it there. And if you ever really want to have more control of your experience and guide your experience in the way that you want to, then you have to develop a belief that you think, feel, and act on that in a positive way. Now, if you think, feel, and act on a negative way, you already know which way you're heading, right? Just think of it that way. Those of us that are single parents and they're constantly beefing with each other or whatever the case may be, you already have predisposed beliefs against that person. Not for them, but against them. So you're going to only experience more until you decide to change your mind on that. That person's not doing anything to you. They're already out of your experience. You already disallowed them from your experience. But why then, think about it, now are you holding something that happened however long ago? There's some people that have victim mentality for the 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You know, everything in my life is terrible. Everything, and guess what? They're receiving more of it. What they're negating is their own thoughts, their own feelings, and their own actions that they put towards it. And they speak on all of these things. They receive more of it, and then they point out as if it was somebody else. Someone's doing something to you, and that's why you're doing this way. If you're so unconscious to not be responsible for yourself, for your own actions, for all your own things, like I said, with that strong person that's able to carry heavy burdens, just think of it that way. If you're able to carry heavy burden, yes, you're proving that you are strong. I'm glad that you are strong and able to, but you don't have to. Just let go of that heavy bag. Just let it go. But that's all I got for you on this glorious wintry morning. Yes, I know that was kind of static, and it's cool. Like I said, I'm going to try to hit y'all up a little bit more. I'm going to try to open up some more of y'all. But that's it. That's all I got for you on this lovely wintry morning. It's your boy, Coach J. Ouch.